Hi, my name's Lou Walker and I'm from Golf in the UK, and today I'm going to talk you through some different lies you'll face around the greens and what you need to adapt in your technique to be successful from these lies, okay? So the first one we're going to talk about is when the grass is running into you, okay? As you can see, the grain of the grass is running into me, so all I'm going to do for this chip shot is put more speed. So what you need to do is have a couple of practice swings just testing the resistance of the grass. So as I swing through, I'm feeling how much force I need to get it through the grass, okay? One more, and it's pretty strong here. The grass is pretty meadow and it's run into me, so it's offering lots of resistance. So I'm going to put lots of speed into it. And as you can see, that's a pretty short shot, but a pretty big swing and big follow through. So next time you've got the grass to run into, really put some speed into the back of the ball. So now I'm going to take you through another shot you might find around the green, and that's on the downslope, okay? So, haven't got a long way to the flag, so usually from this distance I'd like to play sort of a sand wedge. It's a small swing. I'm not going to play a sand wedge this time, just because being on the downslope is going to change the loft of the way the ball's going to come out now. So now that I'm going to choose a 60, okay, I'm going to also just change my setup for the lie. So for example here, usually I have my feet nice and close together, but I want to maintain my balance. So feet wider now, okay? Now I need to change where my weight is for the slope. So I want to start swinging the club along the line of the slope. So what I do is I match my shoulders to the level of the slope. So here, left shoulder right down now, okay? So now when I'm chipping, I'm going to visualise a shot that's going to come out a little bit lower, as if I'm playing my 54, even a pitching wedge, depending on the severity of the slope. So let's have a couple of practice swings. I'm just going to land this on the front edge. It's going to have some roll out because it's not going to come out too high. So here we go. Good lean on my left shoulder down. Land it on. Perfect. And see how low that 60 came out, almost like a pitching wedge. So make sure when you're on the downslope, leaning left, swinging down, use some more loft. On to another shot round the greens, and that's the bare lie. Probably the most feared one amongst all of the amateurs and even the pros. The pros don't tend to face a lot of bare lies just because the golf courses they play, the ones you watch on telly, are perfect. So they don't tend to face the shot too much, but we do. So here we go, I'm going to show you how to play it. So, there's two ways of playing it. I'm going to play the first shot the way I would want to play if I feel confident with my chipping that day. So I'm going to choose the club in my bag which has got the lowest amount of loft on, the bounce on it, which is my 60 degree, okay? So it's just where the club face meets the sole, and see how sharp this leading edge is. It's not going to get in the way of me contacting the ball. So here we go. So as you would take a normal setup, okay, and all you're going to think about is trying to strike the ball pretty cleanly. Because from a bare lie, you can't catch the ground before, otherwise the club head's going to dig. Okay, so we need to catch the ball pretty cleanly. So all you're going to do is focus on hitting the back of the ball and try and take a little bit of speed out of your technique. Because if you're catching it slightly thin, borderline thin, the ball's going to go too far. So all I'm going to do is focus on hitting all the ball, and just a little bit slower. Shorter back, shorter through. That's absolutely perfect. And even if you want to feel like you're really nervous, if you feel like you can't play the shot with that much swing, and with your 60, take a lower lofty club. So I'm going to use my sand wedge here, and just try and punch it out of the bare lie, okay? Try and get some contact on the back of the ball and try and get it out, coming out really low. So here we go. Just focus on almost hitting the equator of the ball, leaning on my left, scoot it out. And let the ball run out to the flag. So two ways of playing it, a confident way, a not so confident way, but both have pretty good results. So now we move on to another shot. This is another risky one. But on the face of it, it looks like it's a really good line. Sitting up into the rough, so you'd be walking up to the green thinking, wow, look at that, easy chip shot. The only problem is there's lots of room now to get underneath the ball from this line. So what I'm going to think about now is just taking the ball as clean as possible again. I can't get underneath it, otherwise it's going to go here. So here, when I do my practice swings, I'm not going to get into the try and swing at the top of it. And again, same technique, just try and hit rough the top of the grass. So here I go, I'm just going to try and hit this ball as cleanly as I can. Hit it okay, but see how still managed to get the club underneath the ball a little bit too much. So now I go, have another go, one more time. So perched up, almost sitting too good. When the professionals, or when you hear guys and say it's sitting up too nice, this is one of them, can get underneath it. So again, I'm just going to try and hit all ball, almost hover my wedge. Not ground it, hover it behind the ball. That was better. Picked it off nicely. Difficult shot, difficult lie. So now we move on to another lie, probably the most frustrating lie you get around the greens. One where it frustrates the life out of me when I've got a really good shot into the green. It just rolled a little bit too far and I'm up against the collar of rough here. Always umming and ahhing what to do, but here's the best way to play it. So here, you can't play a regular chip shot, you can't get into the back of the ball because the rough is here. Okay, I can't get to the bottom of it because it's sitting on a lower level of grass and the rough is up high. So what I'm going to try and do, in a shot that you might see on the telly and they make it look pretty easy, is I'm just going to try and use a putting technique. So I even put my putting grip on the wedge. And what I'm going to do is I set my feet up like a putt as well, so feet as wide as my shoulders, and I'm just going to try and hit halfway up the ball. The first bit of the ball that I can see above the grass, and I'm just going to try and put a putting stroke on it, okay? So here we go. Feet as wide as my shoulders like I do with a normal putt, and I'm just going to try and hit the equator of the ball. Let's putt it out. That's nice, came out pretty good. Should have been trying for birdie, but I've accepted that. I've moved on from that, I've played a decent shot and I'll walk off with par here. Last of all, we move on to the uphill lie. Okay, these are pretty simple, you just got to change your focus. So for example here, this length of shot that I've got, I haven't got much green to work with this running down to the hole. Usually I'd use a 60, I'd like to get the ball up a little bit, get it to land softly and just roll out a touch. But because I'm on the upslope here, it's helping me get the ball up. So for example, if I usually see this with a 60, this time I'm going to choose my sandwich and play exactly the same shot I would, because the ball's going to have the same trajectory as it would with a 60. Okay. Another thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to pour too much weight on my left hand side. Usually I have most of my weight on my left, but that's only going to help me just to dig into the slope. My attack angle is going to be a little bit too steep. So this time I'm just going to ease off and have my weight a little bit neutral. Still lean on the left, but not too much. So here we go, a couple of practice swings and just trying to keep the speed up with my 54, because usually visually it looks a little bit different. Usually I try and hit this a little bit softer, but because the upslope I can still be relatively aggressive with it. Just a little bit of lean on my left. Nice, worked out good. So see, the launch angle is a little bit higher. I tend to hit my 54 a little bit more knocked down.